Go love your own enemies. Don't be loving mine. My enemies are the theocratic fascists. I don't love them. I want to destroy them.
You're a child made in the image of God. Oh no, you're not. You're a faggot. And you can't join your church and you can't go to heaven. This is disgraceful. It's inhuman.
Breaking news out of Chester County. Prosecutors have just revealed disturbing new details in the gruesome torture and death of a 3-year-old boy. The child's own mother is among those who investigators say have confessed to the crime. Action News reporter Vernon Odom is live now in Westchester with the very latest on the news conference that wrapped up just moments ago. Vern?
Law enforcement veterans here tell me they have never seen a child abuse murder case like this ever before in their experience. Incredibly ghastly brutality. Gary Fellenbaum and his live-in girlfriend Jillian Tait are in the Chester County Prison today, facing murder and related abuse and torture charges. They were living in a West County trailer park. The DA says they beat Tait's son, 3-year-old Scotty, to death using homemade weapons like this whip, a curtain rod, and aluminum strip. Tait's other son was allegedly beaten and tortured as well.
Little Scotty McMillan is dead. Over a 3-day period last week, he was systematically tortured and beaten to death. He was punched in the face and in the stomach. He was scourged with a homemade whip. He was lashed with a metal rod. He was tied to a chair and beaten. He was tied upside down by his feet and beaten. His head was smashed through a wall.
Now, Tait's other child, a 6-year-old boy, has been placed now with relatives. The DA says he will seek the death penalty for the 2 murder suspects here. Fellenbaums live in a trailer with Tait, the girlfriend, and his own wife, Amber. Amber Fellenbaum is charged in this case with endangering the welfare of a child. Live in Westchester, Vernon Odom, Channel 6 Action News.
So, I have to ask Christians, how can you follow this God? How can you follow this supposedly loving, caring, compassionate father figure God? 3-year-old boy, over 3 days, no help in sight, 2 grown adults systematically beat him to death. Where the fuck is your God in this story? What was he doing over the past 3 days while this was happening? He's all-knowing. Oh, was it part of his divine plan? Was a child being tortured to death part of his plan? Is this somehow for the better good? Something good's gonna come from it? Really? How many innocent little kids are going to be killed? How many excuses and justifications are you going to come up with for the fact that your fucking God sits on his hands and does nothing ever? Human suffering and little children and drowning people and 911 victims, and your God does nothing. Holocaust victims praying earnestly to their God to save them, and your God does nothing. Meanwhile, atheists have to hear about how we deserve to go to hell unless we believe in this God and praise Him and worship Him. I would never worship a fucker like this, who would sit on his thumbs and do nothing. What a reprehensible ass. What a monster your God is. If He existed, if He appeared before me right now, I would fucking spit in His face. I fail to understand how good, loving people would ever want to praise a God like this. To sit idly by and let a little 3-year-old boy be tortured to death. Or this other story that I heard that happened the other day. Some woman throws her little child off of a bridge. Where's God? Where's the fucking fleet of angels to catch him? I'm sorry. Your God is ineffectual. Your God does nothing. Your God is useless and completely inept. He doesn't love anybody. He doesn't exist. Because if He does exist, He's reprehensible. He's deserving of utter contempt. And certainly not one flicker of respect or love or praise. I would never praise your God. I have a hard time understanding how you could.